of a classical text. The results for the ijtihad process and for the formulation of Sharia have been pretty alarming. But in the midst of this big mess, we have another mentality that's developing, which is possibly even more alarming, which is the idea that actually none of that matters too much, or perhaps we don't even know about that. We don't know about manuscripts and memorizing hadiths and isnads that continue. We don't even know. Ignorance is a great source of strength. But what we really reject is the idea that a classical consensus of the scholars might be more likely to get things right than our own interpretation of the hadith. And this is what I referred to earlier as the modern Promethean mentality of the atomized human consciousness, which has to have its own integrity affirmed by being the one that judges. And there's a great psychological attraction in this idea that even if you're new to Islam and you don't know Arabic or anything, you can sit up in a kind of throne and look down upon the ulama and say, well, An-Nawawi got this wrong. Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani didn't quite understand. The consensus is wrong because I understand this hadith correctly, and I'm not going to be a muqallid, just a blind imitator. I know best. Very psychologically attractive to think that you are actually in authority over the ulama, and that you can look over a discussion that has continued for 1,000 years amongst thousands and thousands of great ulama who've memorized hundreds of thousands of hadith, and who are far more pious than we're likely to be, and to say, he's right, he's wrong, this is the correct opinion, this is the true sunnah. Well, that's a more serious problem to overcome. The problem of the accessibility and reliability of the hadith is a kind of mechanical thing that is now being rectified thanks to the project at Al-Azhar. They're actually getting out, you can buy 18 volumes of the sound hadith collections, and they have a website, so you can look at manuscripts, the different manuscripts reviews to every page. So if there is a dispute over the text, you can see what the oldest texts say. And the manuscripts have the ijazah from the great shuyukh to whom these texts have been read back. So that, to some extent, is being resolved. For those who are interested, we hope to print the first 3 volumes of the Musnad of Imam Ahmad within the next month, inshallah. And so that's the kind of mechanical thing that's just part of the sloth and laziness of so much of the modern ummah, and really a lack of concern to be meticulous about the process of ijtihad and how we formulate sharia from the adillah. It's a form of laziness and sloth, I think, ultimately. But more dangerous than this laziness and sloth has been the problem of a kind of Promethean arrogance, this deep attraction that I suppose we all have to the idea that we are really powerful, we are in authority. We can say, he's right, he's wrong, I know the dalils, I've looked it up for myself. And that's a much more difficult issue to deal with, and this is the principal reason, even more than the problem of the narration. This is the principal reason why there's so much dispute and argument over Sharia nowadays, and so little awareness of the traditional adab, the courtesy of ikhtilaf, of different opinions. Why we fly into a rage when somebody has a different view to ourselves, because we've invested so much of our own egos in the process of deciding what's right, what's wrong, that we take somebody else's difference of opinion as a kind of personal attack. It's no longer a dispassionate thing. The Sharia is no longer an opportunity to lose the nafs, the ego. It's an opportunity to raise it up to extraordinary heights so that it can pass judgment on all of these great scholars and other people and the mosque next door who are doing something different to what I happen to be doing. And that's a deeper sign of decadence, I'm afraid.